This is literally how planning to fail will actually lead you to success. And listen, this underrated strategic thinking method is the key to predict success for any project, goals, or venture, especially for your business. It's pre-mortem and it's not post-mortem. You've probably heard this term before, but it's a concept that comes from Gary Klein. Basically, a post-mortem is something you do, unfortunately, after the death of a project, after you failed at something. And it's usually something that is applied in medicine and done after the death of a patient. But guess what? The problem with post-mortem, obviously, if you see where I'm going, is that it's too late. Duh. Listen, if it was for me, I don't want to wait for someone to die to come up with a solution and to wake up and then be like, okay, great, I'm going to come up with a solution and learn from my mistake. No, if I could skip that phase, I would. And you would too. We don't want to wait after the storm to come up with a fucking brilliant idea. This is probably not why you click on this video either. And a postmortem in business is even worse sometimes, because by the time you go bankrupt and by the time your business collapses, nobody's gonna stick with you until the end after this big failure. Trust me, no matter how motivated you are after having failed, and no matter the amount of motivation you have to come up with a new idea and start a new business and learn from your mistake, nobody's going to follow you after this. You're going to be alone in this. And for some other people, it might even be worse again. You might lose trust in yourself. And this is where a pre-mortem comes in. This is where, before the boat sink, you gather your team and ask everybody, let's pretend our offer has already failed. Instead of waiting for a storm to happen, let's just pretend that our product, business, our offer has already failed. I don't know if you have heard this from John F. Kennedy, but the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining, not after the fucking storm where everything is already broken down, or worse again, not even during the storm. Now from there, after asking yourself, or your team, if you have a team, or maybe you're alone, but after asking yourself this question and your team, let's pretend our offer, business, or product has already failed. From there, you want to figure out what are all the possible reasons this could happen. What are the reasons our business, our offer could fail? Is it because we had a bad offer in the first place? Is it because we weren't charging enough? Is it because of a lack of distribution? Is it because the leads weren't qualified enough, or the leads weren't educated enough, right? The list goes on, but make a list about it and come up with everything. And once you have the list of reasons, you're going to want to find a way to eliminate each of these reasons to prevent failure from happening. And here's what I specifically mean. For each failure scenarios you're going to come up with, each reasons, right next to them, for each one of them, you're going to come up with a mechanism that will solve that failure scenario and prevent it from happening. And that is how you come up with an offer, or simply just a plan or anything for your business. The reason why this way of planning your business is more efficient than anything else is because, here's the thing, as human beings, when we plan something, we plan it with the expectation of success already. That's natural. But the catch with that, especially as founders, when it comes to building our business, coming up with an offer, is that we usually fell in love with what we built during the process, and we can't help it, and which makes us by default overconfident on the outcome. And this is why after we make a plan, it's very hard for us to then just see anything that is not based on the plan we made. And it kind of gets us delusional. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? You've been there. I've been there. But the world and the marketplace don't give a fuck about this either. And with that being said, then the tunnel vision we're in, right? The tunnel vision that the path of our plan lays out for us makes it hard for us to see or think outside the box. And therefore, there may be some assumptions in our plan that we made that are simply wrong. And we don't see it. We might not even know it. And this is very different than from looking at our business after having failed and saying, oh, what a dickhead am I? No shit, it didn't work. I knew this business model suck anyways. These gurus are lying, all that bullshit, and trying to play victim and trying to cope. Look, instead of doing this and waiting for a storm to happen to say that bullshit, instead of doing that, conduct a pre-mortem to never have to conduct a post-mortem. If you want to make your list of pre-mortem to build your offer, to solve problem, and go deeper to build an offer that will solve every problem for your client, just as I went over in this video, if you want to make this for you or for your client and have access to the assets you need to pull that off, just join my community. Everything is for free there. You have access for everything that I said, the plug and play, the mental model, the implementation, the support, everything. It's free and the link is on the bio of my YouTube profile. Subscribe, drop a like, and with the value being said, take care.